good to hear from you. A little weird ramping it back up even after 1 week off. It gets a little.
Yeah.
I get a little rusty, Mike.
I didn't know what to do with myself.
Well, I was checking Instagram out. I think you did know what to do with yourself. You got something going on over there.
What do you mean?
It's somebody dancing at a club, just having a good time.
Yeah, this stuff just comes to me, and I pass it along.
Yeah.
You know, it's God-given.
It is God-given, yeah. And you wrote, I'm game.
Okay. Yeah, I was in the mood.
No, I think it's great.
She seems like a nice lady.
She seems like a nice lady. She knows how to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Pat, do we have Pat here? Pat?
You do. You have me.
How's it going, Pat? I apparently got on the radar of some Blues Brothers fan group. The Best Show got on the radar of some fan. Is it a Reddit thing? I don't know.
Supposedly Instagram.
It's an Instagram thing. Thank you, Andrew. And people were mad that I was making fun of the Blues Brothers movie.
Where they go, they cause a ton of property damage, and then like what's worse, and then they show up to like do rhythm and blues better than Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin.
You know, okay,
and
now
like
you're
really
making...
impress them with their musical chops.
Also, not funny. The Blues Brothers are not funny.
The not funny part is bringing me around on this. They are the least funny part of a movie called The Blues Brothers are the Blues Brothers. Way back, that must have been a year and a half, like 2 years ago. Saying that, and look, I didn't watch the clip, but I saw some of the feedback. I glanced at it. Someone said, literally calling one of the best comedies of all time not funny. They're just trying to get clicks. No. Blues, this is what I'll say about Blues Brothers. I'm not sure if I like it or hate it. I'm still not sure. The Blues Brothers social media account posted this, throwing me to the wolves. Hey, what do we think about this guy? Let him know. Can I see the original post that I want to read that. They came across a clip from 2 years ago. Jake and Elwood Blues, a.k.a. the Blues Brothers, are not funny. Tag them in them comments and tell us if you agree. Whatever.
How many people are following that account?
How many people are following the Blues Brothers account? Can we find out?
Yeah, we'll look it up.
I mean, there hasn't been a lot of action in the world of the Blues Brothers, right? I mean,
no, there shouldn't be. Dan Aykroyd's 78 years old, and John Belushi's been dead for 45 years.
They have about 787,000 followers.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. I was about to, when you started to say they have 787, I was just like, oh, what a pathetic account. And then I realized, they're heading toward 1 million. This is one of the comments that was thrown my way. I see 3 middle-aged basement dwellers, and because it was an episode where the Chapo guys were on, the Chapo Trap House guys were on. I see 3 middle-aged basement dwellers who think they're better movie critics than Siskel and Ebert because they used to be Blockbuster video store managers. First of all, it might be time for us to let go of the whole your mother's basement retort in any sort of anything anymore. We are living in a country that is in free fall financially. Plenty of people are going to be living in their mother's basement soon. You cannot use that as a point to prove anything. The idea that you're just sitting there writing in your mother's basement. Secondly, thank you. Dan in the chat says it. Siskel and Ebert weren't that good. If you're going to use them as the benchmark for anything, now I'm going to get the Siskel and Ebert heads are going to come after me. But Pat revealed something to me relatively recently that he's a bit of a Blues Brothers aficionado.
Yeah, I was a childhood obsessive.
You were childhood obsessive for the Blues Brothers, Jake and Elwood Blues.
Yes, the original classic film.
Joliet
and
Jake.
And Elwood Blues.
Yes.
The Blues Brothers.
So you're a fan of
And
the
then
original movie.
I was. And then I was super psyched that a few years later, after my fandom started, a sequel was coming out. And
Yeah.
I went and saw that more times than I should have in the theater.
Blues Brothers 2000.
2000. Right.
Or as I've heard it referred to, BBY2K.
BBY2K.
I literally heard
Exactly.
that somebody who worked on it called it BBY2K. Which is, I think, as many syllables at least as Blues Brothers 2000.
I think it's a very cool movie in the
Mhm.
sense that, like, you know, you're watching two guys who are into old soul and blues driving around in an old police car, listening to Sam and Dave, destroying like a shopping mall, and you know, running over Nazis and stuff. And it's cool, and it's very entertaining.
I would agree with you. I watched it 6 months ago when I read that Blues Brothers book. I read the
Right.
book on the Blues Brothers, for Christ's sake.
Which I need to read. I should read that. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Is it funny or not? I'm trying to think of like standout lines, having not seen the film in years. And the one I can think of that is funny
Mm-hmm.
is the waitress at the country western restaurant
Yeah.
who says we have both kinds, country and western. I think
Country and
that's a
western,
funny
yeah.
line.
That's a funny line.
Like as far as comedy writing, that's a funny line. And
This
yeah,
is what
that's
I'll
one of the
say.
few.
Pat, I agree with you. That scene, here are some funny things that are legitimately funny in the Blues Brothers movie.
Right.
When they go to that country music venue claiming that they're the band, the Good Old Boys. And when Jake Blues comes in and just goes, "How's it going?" Like he does that, is very funny. He comes in acting kind of like he's a redneck. There's a couple other funny things in the Blues Brothers. When he goes, "Hey, that's my bed, you sleaze," because that's funny. A part I think is legitimately funny is when they're getting chased and they break away from the crowd, they break away from the cops, and then suddenly Henry Gibson, the Nazi, the Illinois Nazi, goes, "There they are," and then they follow, and that's the Ride of the Valkyries is playing now, and they drive, and the car's about to go off the edge, and then they reverse it, and the car spins in the air somehow against the laws of all gravity, and then the Nazis fall literally from the highest of high points. You see I think it's a gremlin or a pacer falling. Just drop. It's exciting to see a car get dropped that high up. That's entertaining to me. Is it the funniest thing? Not really. They are the worst people in the movie. And I think that's undeniable. The two Blues Brothers are the least talented people
You said the Blues.
in the movie.
But the only reason they get away with it is because of God. That as soon as the mission of God's complete, they're arrested for being the worst people.
Yeah.
In the film, the cuffs go on.
Steven
Transaction
Spielberg
ends.
is funny in the movie.
And I think that scene where they're waiting for his office to open and the angry mob is running up the stairs is also very funny.
Yes.
Just that like juxtaposition is very funny.
I'll say this. I think both concepts can be true. They're bad characters, and it's an entertaining movie. That's it. There you go.
Ferris Bueller should have got arrested.
Ferris
arguably.
Bueller should have ended. That movie should have ended with him in front of a firing squad.
No, it's not. It's not I don't think like
It's not a knee slap.
you know. I think if they gave the script to like Lauren Michaels, he would probably be like, it could use jokes or something like that.
Yeah. Mike, where are you at on this Blues Brothers movie?
Yeah, I'm a detractor. I mean, I remember the hoopla, from Saturday Night Live, the characters on Saturday Night Live, and then the record was big. A friend of mine had the album.
Briefcase of Blues, which sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So
Their music is terrible.
Yeah, so I was already not a fan. And then the movie came out, and yeah, I just did not have any personal interest in seeing it. And I put it off for a very long time. I don't think I saw it, until like maybe 10 years ago or something. And then I saw it, and first it's very long. I wasn't expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's all these car chases and car smash ups, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
so it was very confusing to me. I was expecting a comedy, and I got this car crash movie that went on
Mike
forever.
hates it. Mike hates the movie more than I do, or Pat.
I think so, yeah.
The car crash stuff, it's a spectacle. I don't mind looking at it. Seeing cars pile up, it's in and of itself ridiculous, and it's embracing its own inherent ridiculousness.
Yeah.
You didn't like the Blues Brothers movie? Okay, make sure you get out and go watch the Barbie movie, because that seems to be more your speed. Maybe the Lego movie or the Emoji movie or Speed Racer. I know, you had Ishtar in your personal library. I bet you were disappointed when the My Little Pony movie did not get an Oscar nod.
Wow.
Well, he's
on you.
It's going to take a while to parse through that one.
Well, he's got his little list of horrible movies that he wants to say you're a fan of, and that's the way he's
first of all
sticking it to you.
Speed Racer. I saw Speed Racer in IMAX at least twice. It was an amazing IMAX movie. I went to watch it at home. I could watch it for 10 minutes before I was like, this does not work here. Ishtar is Ishtar. Look, do I think Ishtar is now overrated? Yeah, I kind of do. I think Ishtar is kind of overrated now. I do think stuff is funny in Ishtar, though. The first half of Ishtar is funny. I think people have gone too far the other way with Ishtar. Lego Movie's funny. It's a funny kids movie. Barbie is whatever it was. I was entertained the time when I saw it in the theater. I'll never see it again. My Little Pony movie? I don't even know what that is.
It's a children's movie.
Yeah, but these guys
with a toy, it's a toy tie-in.
They get all twisted about this stuff. It's okay if somebody doesn't like what you like.
Yeah.
It's okay. Some of the crap I like, I don't like it that I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I can have arguments with myself. Soul Man, their version of Soul Man. Ooh, woof. Anytime you hear that, you just go like, "Oh boy, I wish I could listen to the original."
Yeah, and that was sort of it had that effect that I did sort of go to the originals, which is fine. So they introduced some people to R&B.
Yeah, good.
But the album itself, it's like no, this isn't it.
I'm glad the original songwriters got paid.
Yes.
They turned people on to the original R&B, Chicago blues, all of it. People learned about this stuff. It's great. They clearly love the music too.
Mm-hmm.
They love that music. Oh, please shut that off. Oh, there you go. Mike, your friend is dancing to Blues Brothers. That's pretty good. All right. Enough with this poor woman getting.
No, I think she's adding a nice,
she's having
sense
fun.
of fun.
All right, please.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, please shut that music off. Hello, Best Show.
Hey, Tom, how are you doing tonight?
Good, good. Who's this?
This is Jeffrey in Birmingham, Alabama.
Jeffrey, what's going on?
Just sitting out here with my wife and my cats on this beautiful evening.
And where are you again? Where are you at exactly?
Birmingham, Alabama.
No, I mean, what's your home address? No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Oh,
What do you want to talk about? The Blues Brothers, Jeffrey?
yeah, I teach film, and that film is actually on my syllabus list for people to. It's an option for them to choose if they want to watch it or not. And pretty much every semester, a number of the students do watch it, and they are very confused by it.
It's a confusing thing when it's out of the. When it's out of the range of John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd are everybody's favorites today.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird period piece that loses a lot of its potency in that regard. For a kid to watch it, I would picture a kid being just like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. I normally, when I talk to them about it, for those that choose it at the film, I warn them that it's basically a mashup live action cartoon that's probably cocaine fueled.
Yes.
So,
Well, the thing I would say with the Blues Brothers is another movie came out that also had Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi in it around that same time, 1941, which...
Oh, God, it's a terrible film.
Which is Steven Spielberg trying to do a straight-up comedy. And
yeah.
I'll say this, John Landis is in full control over every aspect of this movie. Steven Spielberg with 1941, clearly he's flailing with that one. He's not sure what's working.
Absolutely. It was...
John Landis knows what works in this movie, and the movie does strike a weird, surreal tone it's kind of impressive and fun in that way. They're just the worst characters in it. Folks, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, no, absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Oh, no, absolutely agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other movies do you teach in this class?
Good...
In this class of yours, what other movies do you teach?
Well, they have about they have like 50 to choose from for their writing assignments. So it's a wide breadth of films from the 40s to today.
So what's one of the most popular movies everybody picks?
These kids, believe it or not, one of the top 3 films are The Goonies, The Breakfast Club, and Clueless.
Wait, hold on a second. This is school?
Yeah.
What grade?
This is university level.
This is college? I could pick The Goonies?
Yes, that's correct.
So someone can actually say, I got an A in that film class because I wrote an essay about The Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
About Chunk.
About Chunk.
Oh, boy, I got to go back to school, apparently.
You're welcome to audit the class anytime, Tom.
I might have to get down there and start going to that school, and I'll get a grade A. What other movie you got people doing in that class? Medea Goes to Jail?
Oh.
Ernest Goes to Camp?
Tyler Perry did not. Nope.
Well, look. You got it all figured out. If you're teaching a class about the Goonies, congratulations to you, Jeff. You figured life out.
Well, thank you very much.
When they made the Goonies, as you do, like, lecture everybody in front of, like, if you watch the Goonies, you realize that thematically the movie is about the loss of innocence. Hello, Best Show.
Hi.
Hi.
Pleasure to talk to you, Tom.
Hi. Well, you're here. You're here. Who's this?
This is Ryan Albert Coates from Canyon Lake, California.
How you doing?
I am doing swell. Just wanted to stick on the subject of Blues Brothers, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, please, please.
So my introduction was oddly from House of Blues, the establishment.
Yes, the venue that Dan Aykroyd helped bring to the world.
Correct. So, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that makes sense, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I was 13 and I got a shirt from there, which was kind of a cartoon of them with, just ties on. I was like, this was cool, but I felt like a poser for not having seen the movie. So I, had to watch it. But before seeing it, my dad warned me. He was like, this movie kind of sucks. And I was like, oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I got to try it at least. I can't wear this shirt because I had admired, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd separately. And I was like, well, I'm a musician. I play music and stuff. I bet I'll like it. And I totally loved it. And it was, I could tell how it was subversive though. And you kind of, need to be into music a bit to like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I love your take. I'd never thought that they're the least talented musicians, totally, in that band.
That's all I'm saying, folks. Folks, that's all I'm saying. What's all the grief I've been getting? What's all the grief I've been getting? Ryan, why can't people wrap their head around that?
No, it's very simple. I think it's maybe because you said they're the least talented.
Yeah, but
so
that's undeniable.
They're probably thinking, oh, no, they're obviously talented people, just not in the musician regard.
I'm not saying they're untalented. I'm saying they're the least talented.
Correct, yeah. There you go, man.
Thanks. Thank you. You get it. You get it. What? So when you saw it, how did that, were you on board with it when you saw it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your dad's telling you it sucks.
Yeah, and I was willing to take a chance anyway.
Mm-hmm. So
which, you got to do that in life, right? Don't let people tell you what to think about something.
No. So when you saw it, did you tell your dad, hey, you were wrong about the Blues Brothers? I liked it.
No, because, he has a right to his opinion.
Well, but he also told you his opinion. You could have very well told him your opinion right back. I'm not saying you had to do an argument.
Oh, yeah. I think I told him what I said was I actually liked it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially the Minnie the Moocher part. I'd never even heard of, who's the musician who does that?
Cab Calloway.
Yeah, man, that totally turned me on to him, too.
Look at that. You learned about it. And that I do believe in my heart of hearts is what they wanted, was to just turn people on to the music they loved. And that they had legitimate reverence for it. I know cultural appropriation and everything with all that is a huge thing, and it's something to always be mindful of and concerned about. But I do believe they went into it with pure hearts and legitimate reverence for the music.
It doesn't seem as bad as Billy Crystal's jazz character.
No, nothing's as bad as that.
Right. Yeah, because they seem like they're acting like white people still,
Well, they're also showcasing the actual people, too. They're actually like saying, okay, do a musical number now, and we're going to show people how great you are.
Right.
That's all. That's why I'm not. I think people are assuming I think the absolute worst of all of it. Because
wasn't there a sequel though with his brother or something?
Oh, Blues Brothers 2000. Pat, are you there? Did we lose?
Yes, I am.
Pat,
I am here.
Tell everybody the plot of Blues Brothers 2000, please.
Okay, from the top of my head, I haven't thought about this film in a long time. So it's like Jake is dead, but Elwood is finally getting out of prison. We're assuming for the events of the first film.
Yes.
And it's not really established why, but he doesn't get picked up in the beginning of the film like his brother picked like he picked his brother up in the first film. He's just left there.
Yeah.
Waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out later, he stopped writing me. Like so he went to a different jail? What? Like it's not explained at all.
Mm-hmm.
But he's picked up by this woman who I guess is like a descendant of Cab Calloway's character or something.
Okay.
And then he has to like pick up the pieces and track down okay, so obviously Cab Calloway's character's dead, Jake's dead, and he has to find any resemblance of whatever friends, family he has left, and he finds out that Cab Calloway's son is a cop.
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, you don't understand, this is your lineage, you have to you got to reform the band, help me reform the band. This guy's like, what are you talking about? And then to throw back to that brilliant scene you were talking about with Jeff Fierzig with I've Seen the Light with Jake and the great James Brown. So that moment kind of happens with the Cab Calloway son character. So now he's going to renounce being a cop. He's in the band.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to find like all the rest of the remaining band members that are still alive. I think it's like Duck Dunn's character's doing radio with Steve Cropper.
Mm-hmm.
Fierzig got that wrong too. He said Matt Guitar Murphy. I almost jumped in, but I left it be. That's the other member of the MGs. For any Blues Brothers board member is still following at this point, we apologize. But they're all doing different things. I think like Matt Murphy was in like a car dealership, and so Aretha Franklin and him are like high rollers now, and he has to get her permission to leave. She doesn't want it. She sings Respect instead of Think this time. It's like it's basically fan service. The whole thing is fan service.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the actual plot other than the very, very long-winded reforming of the band. There's a great scene with Wilson Pickett singing the Stax phone number song, the 684. Yeah, that's pretty good. There's a couple of really good moments in the sequel, but they have to go to New Orleans for some reason, right? And they have to and this is how Paul Schaefer finally gets to be in the movie, because he couldn't be in the movie.
Couldn't be in the first one. He couldn't do it. He was commitments. So
Aykroyd does him a favor.
With Letterman or something?
I guess so. Yeah, it's probably in the book you read, Tom.
Yeah,
right?
It's all in the book.
What? But yeah, he gets to New Orleans, and then they have to battle like an actual legendary band with like B.B. King and all these greats, and Paul Schaefer's in that band, and like Erykah Badu is some voodoo queen, and she has to she's the judge of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they lose the battle of the bands, and then but they're like, hey, should we jam everybody? And like that's how the movie ends somehow. And I'm sure there's a police chase. I forget exactly, but
it doesn't seem look, this movie's not exactly going to compete with Vertigo for the AFI film rankings. It sounds like fan service, and I want to say this to the fans who've been giving me nothing but grief. They made a movie just for you, and that movie bombed. Blues Brothers 2000 bombed. If you got any problem with the Blues Brothers community, it ain't me. It's your own brothers and sisters who did not support BBY2K when it was in theaters. If they would have supported it, who knows how many Blues Brothers movies you would have gotten. You people need to look in the mirror. You need to look in the mirror. Now here, I'm going to say this to camera, and this is clippable, that this needs to be clippable. Dear Blues Brothers fans, I would sincerely like to apologize from the bottom of my heart for the thoughtless and rude comments I made about the 1980 Blues Brothers movie directed by John Landis. I was making a specific point that I do feel the Blues Brothers, Jake and Elwood Blues, as played by John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, they're great performers. I've been a fan of both of them for most of my life. All I'm saying is that if you take a step back from the movie, you'll realize the actual Blues Brothers are the least talented people in the movie. That's because they're stacked up against people like James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Cab Calloway, John Lee Hooker, so many other great, Ray Charles. There's so many greats in this movie. They're paying tribute to them. They're honoring them. They're loving them. They did it with love in their hearts. Please, my family has been put through so much with this Blues Brothers situation. My grandpa, Gampy, went to Walmart yesterday, and a Blues Brothers fan sprayed a swastika on his Cybertruck. This cannot stand. Please, let my family heal. Let my family move forward. However, I would like to turn the mirror on.
You.
Wait, what was that?
We forgive you.
Who is that? Is that you, Ryan?
Oh, no, my neighbor just came over.
Get off my phone. You interrupt my Blues Brothers speech. Now I got to take it from the top. Dear Blues Brothers fan. No, I'm not taking it from the top. I do want to say this, and this can be fixed in editing here. Blues Brothers fans, you are complicit in your own tragedy. You did not support BBY2K, otherwise known as Blues Brothers 2000, when you had every opportunity to make that movie a smash hit. You did not come out and support it. You let it bomb. That's on your heads. If anybody is responsible for the diminishing of the Blues Brothers franchise, it is you, not me. I do a top podcast, and I've dedicated hours to celebrating the majesty, the mystery, the mirth, the music, the magic that are Jake and Elwood Blues. You people, when it came time to vote with your pocketbooks and your wallets, you chose to put your money elsewhere. This is on your heads. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. You are responsible for the death of Jake Blues, Elwood Blues, Mighty Mac, that kid who was in the one that nobody wanted in it, and all the rest. Some would say there's no difference between you and an Illinois Nazi. Thank you.